Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're just going to be chilling. We are just going to be chilling, looking at the new system I've been testing out in the last couple live streams. So, potentially, if you haven't seen the last couple live streams, the system or the exact things I'm looking for may look a little bit strange or unfamiliar to you, but that's okay, because I'm going to do my best to explain it here. But also, you can just go watch some of my last live streams and get caught up pretty quick. I'm just going to make sure I can play music on your guys' side. But yeah, we just chilling. We just chilling tonight. If you're bored, want something to listen to, you're trying to study just like me, then come chill. Come chill on the charts. This was a break even that actually ended up being a winner. It kind of didn't meet my rules at all. When I placed this trade in Weeble, the stop loss, or sorry, the entry was through this high. But for some reason, when you enter in Weeble, it automatically sets like a take profit level, and I forgot to change it. So when I was getting ready, this hit my 1RR move to break even. So as I was getting ready to move this trade to break even, I realized the trade was closed, and it closed me at about 0.8. Price comes back down, so this trade should have been a break even, but since it got closed early, it ended up being a small winner. I mean, I can't complain. Sometimes mistakes happen, and like your system will account for mistakes. What's good is that sometimes mistakes happen against you. So when they happen for you, you just got to take them, roll with the punches. But this is my equity curve, guys. I'm going to be having a video come out tomorrow breaking down the trade. This trade right here that I made over $400 Canadian on. And you guys are going to be able to see the exact rules that led to this entry, which is right here. It ends up going way past my full take profit, but that's okay. We're not meant to catch the whole move. We're just here to catch a part of it. I'm just going to start this stream on my phone here to make sure the music's coming through. 1 second. And you guys are going to be able to see the exact rules that led to this entry. I can probably turn the music up a bit, eh? That should be good. Hopefully that's good. So yeah, today we're actually going to be just looking at setups and just studying them pretty much. This right here is the data we've collected so far on the new system. About 50 trades, which is good. What I actually started to do is I made a separate sheet over here, and I took screenshots of all the trades in this backtesting sheet. Sorry, in this backtesting sheet here. I went in and found all the winners, and I added them to this sheet in here. So now whenever I want to go look or study setups, I can see my weekly timeframes all on the left side. And if I want to see inside this area, I just scroll over to daily, see the daily breakdown and push bullish. And if I want to get in this area where the trade was, somewhere in this candle, I just scroll over, and now I see what my 1 hour time frame looked like. And if I do that one more time, and now I see what my 10-minute time frame looked like. So what I'm going to be doing here today with you guys is I'm actually just going to be filling out more screenshots. We're just going to open random markets in TradingView, whatever ones look clean, whatever ones we can find a setup that would have met our rules on. And we're hoping to get about 50 to 100 rows down of just 50 to 100 trades. So yeah, we got a long way to go. I'll try and talk through things. But like I said, we're just chilling. I'm a Leafs fan, so Leafs game's going to come on in a little bit here. So I'll be watching that as I'm live streaming. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it. These are some of the markets on my watch list lately. So maybe these are markets that have looked relatively clean in the past future. And I'm actually just going to go to my back testing sheet here just so I don't mark up my live templates. So I'm going to close that. Now we could just mark up whatever on here because we're on my back testing trading view template. So let's just open like GE Aerospace. See how this has been moving. It's been super bullish. So the only question that I'm really asking myself here, let's just zoom in on like the most recent price action, even though like there's tons of price actions to the left. This would be like March 2025. This is like almost a year of data. So that's cool. Let's just get our screenshots and our trade examples that we'd like to study in this area here, because this is a year of bullish price action. So I know since price was moving in one direction for so long, there probably is some setups in here, right? And what I want to do is I want to go in and actually find them. So this is the area we're going to be focusing in on. And I'll actually label this. So after the weekly move sideways, it kind of breaks here. So we have like the first break out of the accumulation. Then this is the first high that forms that can be ran out of the accumulation. And then you kind of have a second one here. Then you have a third one. This is all kind of 3 because it comes back down into the area. All in here, so that's kind of 3. So we're just going to be looking at trades in the down or the down pushes or the pullbacks of the weekly. So if I were to just do this leg by leg, let's just focus in on this part. Let's focus here right now, just in this bullish push. We'll mark the daily. I want to be getting involved at points where the daily is above the MAs. Because if my daily time frame is above the 10, this lighter line, and then the 20, this darker line, then I know it's telling me that the overall average of price has been higher than the past 10 to 20 days, which is a good sign. Because that means in the past 10 to 20 days, price is doing something different than it was in this area here. It's garnered buyers that are pushing this market up. So we have the first breakout of the accumulation. We have the first high that gets ran, the second high that gets ran. Then you kind of have the third one here. So I'm curious now if we were to look in this area here. Where on the 1 hour could I have gotten involved on the 10-minute time frame? So I'm looking at points maybe there, and potentially here before price just chops around. So this is going to be the first area of price I look at. Second high to be ran, and the third high. So you'll see how in this first weekly push from this lower low, this push right here, I'm now breaking it down into specific moments that I want to look for it or look for trades. I want to look inside the bullish pushes. Inside bullish pushes, there's more bullish pushes. Inside bullish pushes, there's more bullish pushes. Inside bullish pushes, there's more bullish pushes. Okay, got it. So yeah, simply I'm just going to look if there's entries in these areas here now before we move on. Winning entries though. Those are the only ones I am taking note of. Oops, I tried to mute my mic for that. Epic fail. Super big fail. See another entry here. Price moves sideways, creates this big candle out of the sideways action. My stop loss goes below all the actions to the left. So I see that. Now, I don't care about the entries that didn't work. So if this entry doesn't do anything special, which it doesn't, then I don't care about adding this to my collection sheet. Because I just want to study the setups that worked and looked good, that I can grab certain characteristics from. So next time I create data on this sheet here, I now have new rules of specific things I'm looking for. That's the goal with this sheet here, is to get more refined rules. So those are the two clean trades there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this, copy image, and we're just going to add it in here. Now there's two trades in here, so I can actually just do it once. That's fine. Now, if you guys recall, my rules in this system was take full profit at 3RR. Both these trades run over 3RR, 8RR, and 4R. So this would be a significant enough winner to add to the collection, which is why I'm adding it. I do want to highlight though the candles I would have entered on, just so when I study this later, I don't have to be guessing. Make this blue a little bit darker to see. That's good. Yeah. Just gonna turn on the Leaf game here. Big Leafs fan, guys. If you're from the Toronto area, then you know. If you don't know, you now know. And if you don't know, I'm sorry. So yeah, you'll see how this whole process takes time. It's not something you can just zoom by. Now, if I wasn't live streaming and I was just like dialed in, then yeah, we could go a little bit quicker, but you know how it goes. So where's the next place I want to look if there was entries? Probably in the next bullish push, which is coming here. So right here, daily's creating that structure. I won't stop looking for entries until the daily breaks down, because that's when I know the weekly's making this pullback to eventually make that leg then that's where we'll look for more good entries that we can add to our data collection. I think I'm going to delete all this as well, because I don't think I need it afterwards. I probably won't use it. I already have the screenshots, so that's what matters most. Let's see. I don't think there's going to be an entry in here just based off how the moves look. But let's see. There would have been an entry here on this candle that breaks above the MAs, but doesn't do anything. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Would have been a break even though. Break even at 1 hour. Okay, so the 1 hour breaks down. So I now know there's not going to be any entries until the daily starts making that next leg up. I can check if there were entries in this points here, or these points. But since the bullish pushes didn't last that long, the lesser chance that there's going to be an entry. Compare these two bullish pushes to these ones over here. Well, clearly there was more opportunity in these two over here. Okay. So we will remove this, wait for the daily to show it wants to go up. Then we can look for more entries. I'm actually going to delete all this because we got everything we needed in here. There was only 2 entries in there. 2 entries in like 40 bars on the daily, 40 days. So now we want to see how many entries are in this next weekly leg going up. And if you're watching this, if anything, if you have any questions, anything you want clarification on, you know, I may have a video out for it already, or just ask me. There's no secrets over here. I'm looking to make everyone better. And every time you watch my video, the goal is to have you learn at least one thing or have something click. And sometimes you'll need to listen to the same thing like 30, 40, 50, 100 times before something just clicks. It's weird. So we have this push here. So I kind of see the daily breaking through here as the accumulation. And then this would be the first high that gets ran. So I want to see how many entries were available in this leg here, highlighted yellow. So I'm gonna get rid of that, and we're just gonna go and we're going to inspect price. One hour breaks through, creates the first high that could be ran, gets ran but breaks down or moves sideways, and then breaks above all that action again, making a clean move away from the MAs. I wouldn't look for entries right here, just based off how the MAs look. Not terrible, just kind of, most of my entries, and when I enter trades, the 1 hour MAs don't look like this. And I'm looking to, you know, provide consistent replication of, sorry, let me try that one more time. Consistent visual demonstrations of what I look for every single time I take a trade. That's what I'm looking for. So I wouldn't actually look for an entry here. I'd consider that a reset. And I would consider this a new daily leg probably, because when that 1 hour fails here, yeah, you get that daily pullback. So really, I'm just looking at potential entries up to there. Let's see. So we had an entry right here. Does this go to 3RR? No, it does not. That would have been a break even. This one would have had an entry right here. Stop loss there. And then it would have hit our profit. So this was a trade that could have been taken inside this new daily structure to the upside, putting in that new weekly high, which we know will end up around here because we labeled it beforehand. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this to the screenshots. Going to copy that. I kind of want to go down here. It's fine. Throw this in here. Oh my God, the Leafs are playing terrible right now. Terrible. Terrible. Screenshot the daily. This trade was taken in the running of the first, or the liquidation of the first high after the accumulation. Put all this back on. And then the entry, screenshot that, highlight the candle we would have entered on. Breaks past all of these highs, kind of out of the sideways price action. Some of these trades just look beautiful, like they deliver right away and then they fail, which is, you know, just a nice sight to see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to the daily time frame. We now have this second high to label because the 1 hour breaks down here. So we now want to wait for the 1 hour to turn bullish so we can look in here for potential entries. Let's see if that happens and when that happens. So yep, it happens right here. Liquidation down below the MAs, makes a move above the MAs. So let's just see the move play out. Okay, boom. So we want to look for entries inside this area because this was the bullish structure that made the daily higher high from this higher low. What strategy are you, or which do you primarily use when trading? That's a great question, man. So typically, if I were to describe my strategy, so I use 4 time frames: the weekly, the 1 day, the 1 hour, and the 10 minute. So really similar to what you're seeing here. But if I were to explain my strategy to you, I would be trading accumulations down the fractal line. So on each one of these time frames, I am waiting for an accumulation. And after my weekly, my 1 day, and my 1 hour confirm accumulation, I then enter on the 10-minute time frame off the first higher high that breaks the accumulation or breaks out of the accumulation. So I'll actually show you my last trade. I actually just created a video on my last trade here that will be coming out tomorrow. But I'm going to open up these screenshots for you here so I can kind of explain. So you'll see my weekly, I label an accumulation where this first one is. That's when price broke down and then broke back up to signal accumulation, proving that it wants to get up to the top side. This is a form of demand in the market. So when price makes breaks upward, demand is forming. So you could say my strategy is waiting for demand to come in on every time frame I utilize. That's one way to put it. A simple way to put it is breaks of structure that hold or are above the MAs. So I get that here on the weekly, breaks down, breaks up. That's when I go to my daily. So in this higher high to this higher low, I now want to look for the same model happening on my daily time frame. I want demand to be validated, and I want the proof of that to look like price breaking up above moving averages. So that's exactly what you have here on the daily. Inside this number 2 on the weekly, so white represents the weekly right here. Price breaks down and then breaks up. It then breaks back down, but then breaks back up. Inside the higher time frame story of this bullish structure, when I get this second break up, I can now assume that price wants to create a higher low to a higher high, higher low to a higher high, and so on and so forth. This is the model I trade. So it's validated accumulations with the expectation that bullish structure is going to continue. Now, once this daily makes this first higher high here, in this area where the higher low is forming, I then go down to the 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour time frame is doing the exact same thing I explained to you guys on the other 2 time frames. So now in the point where the daily's made this big move up past all preceding highs above the moving averages, showcasing, screaming at you it wants to move upwards, similar to what the weekly's doing, that's when I drop down inside my daily on the 1 hour, and I now wait for that model to play out again on the 1 hour. So when that 1 hour breaks down and then breaks up, I now know on my weekly, my daily, and my 1 hour time frame, so these 3 time frames here, that accumulation is confirmed. Price is above the moving averages on all 3 time frames. Bullish structure has formed. And now all I'm looking to do on my 10-minute time frame is ride the momentum. And to get to your question, what strategy do you use? A lot of times people just want to know what kind of entry model. Well, the entry model is simple. When price turns bullish inside this daily structure leg, when price turns bullish, I then go down inside the 1 hour to my 10-minute. I wait for the breakdown, which happens here, forming this higher low on the 1 hour. And then the first break out of it that signals accumulation on my 10-minute, I buy stop the high. So that's why you see here the entry was above this high, because I'm now expecting that 1 hour time frame to now continue that to make that higher high. And I'm entering inside that momentum on the 1 hour, which is proving the momentum on the daily, which is proving the momentum on the weekly. So that's kind of my strategy there. I hope that makes a little bit of sense for you. If you have any other questions, let me know. But thanks for just asking a question in general. If you want anything else, I'll break down for you. Any Any questions you have, just let me know. What's cool about that as well is you just saw my entry model. A lot of times you ask a trader what strategy they're taking or whatever the case is, and all of their entries look different, which confuses a lot of traders. So a lot of people are just entering off random confirmations or trading multiple setups. But the best thing you can do for yourself in trading is master one setup, because that's all you need. That's all you need in the markets. And to showcase this to you guys firsthand, I'll open up my last 10 trades. Let's open up my last 10 trades. And I'll show you something that a lot of unprofitable traders or struggling profitable traders can't show you. Because one, it's much harder to do in a live environment than a back-tested environment when you're actually waiting for real life candles to play out. And then two, a lot of people experience FOMO or other people jumping in trades that don't meet their specific entry criteria, and they end up just hopping in the trade for whatever. So you'll see here, I'm just gonna go through them all real quick. Tell me these don't all look kind of similar. Very similar. Don't these all look very similar? How many times have you guys hopped in someone's like live trading, or you watch them live trade and you feel like every time they enter something is just random and you don't even know what kind of entry setup they're using? You'll see on my 10-minute time frame, it's always taken in the potential higher low of a 1 hour time frame. You get the big push up on the 10-minute, the breakdown below the MAs, reclaims the MAs, and I place a buy stop on the first high that I expect to be ran on the 10-minute time frame. So for this entry, it was higher low, higher high, higher low, entry. Low, high, low, entry to run the high. Low, high, low, entry. 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 It's all the same. So one of the first things you can do for yourself is find yourself an entry model. And there's tons. If you want, I can even help you, right now. I can help you find one right now. You could use mine. Simple. You don't need to complicate it though, which is the beautiful part about trading. You just need to find one that works. So without that being said, I'm going to jump back into my data collection here. Did I end up screenshotting this last one? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay, boom, we got that. Okay, cool. So in this daily leg, that's all there was. And now I'm going to look inside this next daily leg. So I'm going to delete all this. Don't care. Already got the screenshots I need to look back at later. Delete that. And now I want to look at this area here. What entries were available to me here? September 19th, 2025. Yeah, man, no problem, Akia. I know it could be pretty daunting when you just see a bunch of candles everywhere and you're wondering where the heck the entry or what entry you're supposed to take is. But I don't know how new you are into your trading. Maybe you could let me know. Maybe you've been just starting out learning how to day trade. Maybe you've been, day trading for a couple of years. But there's some beginning steps you want to take. And one of those beginning steps before maybe you even find your specific entry model is you want to know what timeframes you want to use for your higher time frame bias. You'll see mine is the weekly and the daily mainly. Then my 1 hour kind of plays like a medium role to be aligned with the 1 day and the weekly. And then my entry time frame is the 10-minute. So you want to structure your entry time frame inside those higher time frames, because if the higher time frames are doing one thing, then the lower time frame inside higher time frame structure is working to get in line with that higher time frame structure. So I know if my daily here is making bullish structure, then I know the lower time frame has to be creating bullish structure to continue the higher time frame bullish structure. It's a little bit confusing, but you'll work to get it. But yeah, let me know how long you've been trading for. I'd love to know, because you know, all parts of the trading journey are special in some way. You're either at that stage where you're new and you want to bang your head against everything. You're at that point where maybe you've been learning it for a couple years and it still hasn't clicked, and you're doing some things right. You see the charts much better, but something's still not there for you. There's a phase where you just gotta like quadruple down on the studying, go crazy hard at it, repeat repetition like 24/7 on things you think you know or tend to forget. But part of learning is forgetting and then repeating the learning process again over the same concept, just to make sure you have it down pat. And just remember, a big sign you're learning is being confused. Confusion breeds learning, because when you're confused, you search for answers. And when your mind's searching for answers, one, it's going to be, you know, it's going to take up a lot of time on your mind. Because I know whenever I'm confused about something, it's more so just battling the constant thoughts of like why you're confused, and you're working it out in your head. And then sooner or later, you'll find answers that explain either, you know, the problem a little bit better and helps you find the solution. Or two, you come to the realization you were just being dumb and you do know what you're talking about, and then your confusion doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, let's look inside this leg now on the daily time frame. You'll see my 1 hour breaks down. Breaks through. This would be the first break of accumulation, because price went sideways in this area and then made a break up. This is the first high that gets ran. This is the second high that gets ran. And then potentially this was the third high that gets ran before the 1 hour breaks down. And when I say breaks down, I mean it made a bearish structure leg that took out a previous higher low, and it failed below the averages. So those are two signs you can look. Yo, what's good, Javo? Thanks for hopping in the stream, bro. It means a lot. If you guys could, you know, just double tap the like button real quick. If you got any value out of this so far, hit subscribe. It means a lot. Helps the channel grow. And like I said, my main mission is to get every one of my viewers better at trading. Right now, we're just studying. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to, you know, sit here and answer you guys' questions all night. But right now, I'm just looking for setups and to screenshot setups to look back at later of this new system I've been testing out. So pretty cool. What I want to do here in this area is I want to highlight the bullish pushes that I would want to look for entries in. Yeah, man, that's really good. I'm happy I popped up on your feed. I'm happy I popped up on your feed, Javo. I've been day trading the markets for 4 years. I went through like such a hard time trying to figure it all out in the beginning. It all seems like so much. And it seems like you know so little when you first try and, you know, get involved in the financial markets. But the main piece of advice I can give you is a couple things. Stop following all these, you know, high-end YouTube traders that are just advertising materialistic things, because one, it's super unrealistic and it'll mess with your mindset by having you chase the wrong things and expecting the wrong things much sooner than you could possibly ever get them. So I would say that's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is I would find one mentor, bro. Whether it's me, whoever on your feed, find one mentor. Don't confuse yourself by looking at a bunch of different, you know, YouTubers with a bunch of different strategies, because here's the secret, Javo. It all works, bro. It all works. And I know it all works might be like a blanket statement to you, because if you're new to trading, you don't really know like what works or how to even look for what works yet. But if you were to remember just a couple of things, those would be the main two things. And yeah, man, Javo, I'd love to mentor you, bro. I'm actually looking for people to just give free one-on-one sessions to, man. So free one-on-one sessions in exchange to make content out of it. Because I think, teaching people the right way is very, very important. You used to trade Forex, but never profitable. Yeah, man, that's a lot of people. A lot of people get involved and they realize that they have a lot of bad habits. And then the bad habits lead to, outside of life, lead to bad habits on the charts. Maybe just could be due to, forcing things when you're trying to learn. Maybe it could be the lack of understanding of what a profitable system actually looks like. It could be a bunch of things, man, but I'm happy you're getting back into it. To show you kind of what some of my studying has looked like, this is like one of my vision boards. I'll show you here. So this is like just a bunch of my studying that I've done like over the years, bro. If I were to open up my Google Drive here for you, like I have countless just like Excel sheets of back testing. It's crazy, man. The amount of work that goes into it is a lot, but if you enjoy the process, you're gonna be able to do it, bro. Which is cool, because just gotta stick to it. Sorry, let me get to a couple more questions. I'm just starting out, but I'm in my study phase right now. I'm currently leaning towards ICC strategy. It's the only thing that has made sense so far. However, I do love learning new ways of thinking. And I think it's a very good thing, Akia, to when you're new to jump into, as many things as possible, because the best way to learn in the beginning is just dive into the deep end. Dive into the deep end, hear it all, learn through all the BS, all the crap. And, someone once said there's a tuition to learning. And what that means is sometimes you have to spend your time around the wrong things, or pay the wrong amount of money, or make mistakes to be able to learn. And if you're in that phase, Akia, good, get through it. Don't spend too much time there. Be open to other ways. And if something makes sense for you, then possibly lean towards it. And if at any point something stops making sense to you, then rotate, bro. There's nothing wrong with, changing it up if something starts making more sense than what something else previously did. So good on you for recognizing what kind of phase you're in. And yeah, I'm not too sure what the ICC strategy is. I don't know if you meant ICT. But if you meant ICC, I'm not too sure what that is myself. Yeah, bro, over leveraging is tough. 100%. Over leveraging is something that gets every trader in the beginning. You feel like everything's gonna work out, and you just full pour everything because you think you're better than the markets. And when you think you're better than these markets here, the market will humble you every single time. And there's actually a big kind of pandemic going on right now with gambling culture, whether it's trading, betting, whatever it is. And a lot of people just want everything so quick. And you see that in trading by what you just said, Javo, leveraging. Why are you over leveraging, man? Trading's a slow game. Trading's a slow game. I'll show you. This is one of my live tests, my latest live test. This is my analysis. I've taken over 20 trades, and I'm only in the profit by about almost 4% over 23 trades. That's profitable trading. Profitable trading isn't making $1,000 a night every single night. Profitable trading is having the ability to take losses. What brokerage would you recommend funding up on? Well, Javo, if you stick to Forex, you can absolutely. I don't like Forex that much because there's only a limited amount of assets. And think about this, Javo. If you're a day trader, your job is to look for the cleanest assets possible for the best entries possible. And if you're limited to X amount of Forex pairs, when there's 1,000 stocks out there, if those few Forex pairs go into a bad market condition and you're stuck trading them because you want to only be a Forex trader, well, guess what, man? You're going to be trading markets that are much less cleaner than markets I'm trading, like this right here. Look how clean this looks. It's a clear uptrend. But let me just go to Euro USD. Let's show you here, Euro USD. Look at this, bro. Like, what is this? It's just sideways, and yeah, it's on a higher time frame, but you'll see how less clear it is. Sure, it got clear right here, maybe you could say. Maybe you're looking to trade it right there. But let's go to another Forex pair. GJ's actually not bad. GJ's actually not bad because it's over the past little bit here, past 4 or 5 years, it's created this big uptrend. But I will tell you, most Forex pairs follow the main ones, like Euro USD, GBP USD. Look, I have a whole thing to Forex pairs, bro. A lot of these are untradeable. Look at these things. This one's actually good. This one's crap. This one's crap. Oh my god, like, how are you trading this? This one's okay. But a lot of these you can't even trade because they're just like, I forget what they're called in Forex. They're not offered on like main Forex brokerages, I think. Like, you just trade like the major pair mostly, right? Not like the minor pairs or whatever you call them. I got into Forex in the beginning, probably for like the first year and a half or so. Like I said, why would I limit myself to assets when there's thousands of stocks? Look at all these stocks, man. Tell me all these stocks that I'm about to click through don't look cleaner than the Forex markets I just showed you. Amazon, Nvidia, they're just straight up. McDonald's, this one's less clean. Nike's less clean. Roblox, look at this. Sorry, I'm not even on my list. Look at these ones now. Boom. Boom. Sorry, I wasn't on my watch list. Boom. This one's okay. Boom. Boom. You see how it's less back and forth, Javo? Like, a lot of Forex pairs just look like this. It's like, what the heck am I trading, bro? So what do I use to trade stocks? I trade Webull. I trade on Webull. Webull, oh, I'm from Canada. I don't even know if Webull is available in the States. But I'm from Canada. I trade on Webull. It offers leverage. So majority of stocks, I can trade fine. I risk, 0.5% on them. And I'm not limited. I have thousands of stocks on the New York Stock Exchange that I'm able to trade any single day. Use Robinhood. Yeah, Robinhood I've heard is good too. It's one of the main ones, obviously. Like, stick to what's popular, You don't have to go or do anything crazy. Stick to the ones that have been around for a long time and that you actually like the user interface of. Because the big thing for me with like a lot of these brokerages and like funding firms is the user interface. Honestly, like, I don't even care if you have like a crappy user interface, then like I don't even want to like be on your app, to be honest. Is that just me? But yeah, guys, tomorrow or the next day, probably the day after, by the weekend for sure, I'm going to be breaking down this live trade I took that I made 5RR on right here. That took me to all-time highs in my equity curve. Finally, you'll see here I went on like a big losing streak. I took a couple break evens, and then I finally got a couple winners and more break evens. Before this was just like ugly loss. Like my loss rate is 40%. So 40% of the time I have actually lost. Think about it. How many traders would actually sit there and lose majority of the time and say, I want to be a trader? How many? Not a lot, right? But losses are a good thing because the only way you can get to the winners is to go through the losses. And you can't guess the random probability of your system that you get a break even, win, or loss. You can't predict it. But you have to trust that the math of your system will lead to profitability. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I am going to just continue studying my market here and taking screenshots. I think I was doing it over here. Yep, GE Aerospace. We were looking inside this leg here to see if there were any entries inside this 1 hour bullish structure that was making this daily higher high. So 10-minute makes this bullish push, breaks down, and then creates this accumulation break up. And if you joined in late, this is actually a new system I'm testing. Javo, I know I broke down to my other system, or I might have been Akia. I don't know if Akia is still here, but this is a different system that I've been testing where I just buy stop the first candle that shows a clean break above the moving averages, signaling accumulation. So that would be this candle right here. But yeah, Javo, I saw you'd love to get on a call with me and exchange value. Let's do it, man. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in chat here, actually, just so we can connect. My Instagram's pretty low key. I'm going to be changing my name eventually to match my YouTube name. But this is my Instagram handle. @BradLaBelle_. So just see me there, bro. And yeah, we'll chop it up 100%. Tell me where you're from as well. If you're still here, tell me whereabouts you're located. It's pretty cool to find out where people are watching from. So we would have had an entry here that goes on to run over 3RR. So I'm going to take note of this entry and add it to my screenshot sheet. And then when the 10-minute breaks down again, creating this, I know in this area here, it's a 1 hour higher high, or sorry, higher low. I know that this area here is that 1 hour higher low. So now I'm just waiting for the 10-minute to turn bullish, because once that 10-minute turns bullish, I now assume that 1 hour higher high is going to be fulfilled. Minnesota, bro. Cool, man. Minnesota's cold, man, right? I'm from Ontario, Canada, so it's pretty cold over here. What do you do out there in Minnesota? Play any sports or anything? So here would be the candle in this next entry that broke past the moving averages and cleared out of all this sideways action here. So why I'm highlighting this candle is that it's signaling strength. It's signaling strength because the price is now doing something it wasn't doing prior when it was under the moving averages. So as soon as I get this candle right here, I'm going to zoom in on it. This candle says a lot. When this candle breaks above the moving averages, it's showing money has come into the market on a different level than what it previously was, which is why I'm interested in this candle and this candle here, which I'm going to highlight blue. And then this trade runs the 3.7. So this would be a trade I can jot down as well. And then let me see, 10-minute falls. You see the 10-minute breaks down and then fails to create something like this over here. It creates that break up and then fails down. So when I know price turns bullish and then fails right away, I know on the 1 hour time frame this is going to be a lower high that made a lower low. And watch, you'll see here, I'm going to go to the 1 hour time frame. It's a lower high that made a lower low. You see that right here. That's how structure changes. I don't know if you're watching the news, but it's almost about to be World War III in America. Yeah, bro. I try not to pay attention to the news, but yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard not to, see that crap, especially when you're on social media and stuff. Stuff's been happening in the world for the longest time, ever since, life was created. And, for the most part, if you're in America or Canada, we've been fortunate enough to, I guess, get the better end of things, whereas other places are definitely much, much less fortunate. And these actual events that a lot of times we don't pay much attention to affect a lot of people. And, when you, I guess, focus in on the negative stuff, it can definitely, make you sad or change your mindset for a bit. And I think if you're just always, living in a place of positivity, then life is definitely going to be better. And I know that may sound wrong by having to block out, real life things that are happening just for the sake of your own mental health. But, sometimes you have to be selfish. You're witnessing it in real time? What do you mean? Are we all witnessing it in real time, bro? Let me know what you mean by that. Ikea, if you're still here and you have any questions, let me know. If anyone else is watching, you have any questions, let me know. It means a lot if anyone likes the stream, comments, or subscribe, because I've been going hard on the content lately. If you guys want to check out any of my recent videos, especially if you're new, I just made one. It's called What is a Break of Structure? It's a complete guide to breaks of structure and what it actually means, what's happening inside a break of structure that's actually creating it in real time. So we talk about how buyers step into the market, the momentum or the buyer starts to leave, and then that's when pullbacks happen in structure, which allows new buyers to get involved once again to wipe out sellers in a bullish market and vice versa in a bearish market. Yeah, I can see that 100%. It's different seeing it in news versus actually being there. Yeah. Hopefully everything's cool there in Minnesota, bro. Canada, like a lot of things be happening in Canada. We're going through like in the GTA area, the Greater Toronto area, JVO. There's a bunch of like, home invasion stuff going on. Carjackings is huge. But I don't know, like I think that stuff is huge everywhere now. But a lot of our media's been focused on that for the bit here. Okay, so I'm going to screenshot these guys here. Where was I going? Yes, here. Okay, we'll go to my other sheet. We're going to add in these trades. The 1 hour. This was the daily leg. The 1 hour was traded in. So the second high that was going to be ran after the accumulation was right here. So we're going to copy that. Put that in. Get the weekly. Yo, so Javo, how how long ago did you kind of forget about trading, and what got you back in or wanted to start learning it again? Then we're going to screenshot the entries. Throw those in there. Then the 1 hour breaks down after these entries. So we know the daily is now creating a pullback, all for the creation or expected creation of a higher high. And inside here, we will trade the 1 hour structure. I try to repeat myself because you guys will, the more you hear it, the more you'll understand that I'm doing the same thing every single time. And I'm looking for the same things every single time. And that day trading systems are centered around, you know, strict rules with consistency in following them. And the better you can do that, the better off you're going to be. So daily breaks down, starts going sideways. I know it's going sideways because highs stop getting ran. So it's supposed to take out this high now, right? But makes a move, stops. Make a move, stops. Closes below MAs, and it's just been going sideways. So now I know the weekly time frame is creating a pullback or sideways price action, putting in that higher time frame, higher low, to now create that higher high on the weekly. All the trades that we just screenshotted came inside this weekly leg. What, we got like 4? Let's see how many more we can get in this next one. Pretty choppy, but I'm not too worried about that right now because I'm just looking to get the data. This was pretty choppy. I'm not even gonna, I know there's an entry in here that leads to a profitable trade, but actually gaps up. So the only trade I would take would be like this, but it's the stop loss is way too big. The candle's way too big. So I wouldn't have ever taken that. It's in the choppy area too. Daily does not look clean. Just looks like chop. No momentum. It's all just in the same area. Look down here. Price is easily expanding to new areas. New areas, new areas. New areas, new areas, new areas. Barely moves. Big wick. Back down to where it previously came from. Ugly. I don't even know how long I've been streaming for. Maybe like an hour? Close to an hour? All right, let's go back to getting some more screenshots here. It's all about getting your eyes used to the same thing. Visual repetition. Visual repetition on what you see works. All right, we're back. Let's drop down inside here and see what 1 hour structure we got. See if there's 10-minute entries inside this 1 hour structure. So where would I look for entries on the 1 hour? Inside the pullbacks here. My entry would have been here. Stop loss below all the lows. Entry candle was right here. Why wasn't it this candle? Because I was unsure if this structure point was going to hold and price was going to take out this high right here. But as soon as I saw it fail and then kind of go sideways and create like this roof where price then broke through, I was confident that price was kind of consolidating and that this candle that I ended up entering off of, or would have entered off of, would be the breakout out of that sideways action. break below the MAs, breaks past, back up, past this roof, strong candle. Trade, and then I wouldn't document this entry because it ends up not delivering. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna get this thumbnail. I'm just talking to a guy right now to make me the thumbnail. I know how I'm gonna get it. It's just a matter of getting it. Did I get all those screenshots? Need the weekly still. Okay. So we looked inside this leg and delete all that. Let's then look inside the second daily high after the accumulation to see if the 1 hour presented anything that we could have taken on the 10-minute before it failed down. We just care about this area, the uptrend portion. Oops. So this would have been an entry here. Accumulation's confirmed, it breaks above this roof. But this trade does not run 3R. Then this is January, so I think, oh, price stops right there. Cool. I'm going to screenshot this last one that worked but was a little messier, just to have it. Just to have it. I want to consider all conditions that were relatively not completely disastrous. And although this isn't the cleanest 1 hour, and the 10-minute kind of reflects that choppiness, it ends up playing out, and I want to take note of that. And there we go, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we got 16 trades here, fully screenshotted out, which is good because it's a start on our way to 50 and 100. And then once we get those 50 and 100, we are then going to find some rules, and we're going to data collect on those rules and further out this sheet here. And instead of only having 51 trades, we'll get 100 and see how those new rules perform and how it affects this equity curve here, which is the current equity curve of this backtested system, which is currently profitable. With all that being said, guys, I'm going to end the stream. If you are here and you're watching this right now, I dropped a new video the other day. What is a break of structure? It's perfect if you're new. It's perfect if you want a complete guide on what a break of structure looks like, what it is, and how you can get involved in it. So 1, watch this video. 2, like this stream if you're messing with me. And subscribe. I'm going to be posting videos every week. I'm going to be going live every week. And with all that being said, everyone have a good rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.